I'm very grateful to be with you here today. And I'd like to echo Pastor Can in saying I'd like warmest congratulations to Freeport's Seventh-day Adventist Church and all of you who've made this miracle happen in Sister Evangeline's memory. As we've heard, in her lifetime, her name was synonymous with feeding and clothing the needy and providing physical and spiritual nurture. It is said that everyone was guaranteed a hug, a kiss, and a hot meal. And doesn't that still touch our hearts? Her remarkable legacy was continued by Sister Evangeline Jervis Garland, who we know sadly just passed away on Whit Monday, May 20th. And I know she would have loved to be here with us, and I'm sure she is. Sister Alicia played a major role in making this Evangeline Hurricane and Distribution Centre a reality, as has her sister Carlita Jervis. And having founded the distribution program 15 years ago, today it services the whole community from West End, 8 Mile Rock, Pinders Point, all of Freeport, High Rock, and East End. It's unique because it's a full-time relief centre operating 4 days a week, 52 weeks a year, and the operation requires many volunteers. It distributes weekly care packages of non-perishable items, soap, rice, tuna, noodles, even toilet paper, macaroni and cheese. And that cost comes to some $3,000 a week, with about 1,200 persons registered. The centre also distributes clothing and household items. And the new soup kitchen will provide 1 hot meal a day, 5 days a week, in addition to the other items. Sister Evangeline is smiling down on us, as is Sister Alicia. By the way, the letter P, to be careful with a microphone when you say P, but the letter P can stand for power, protection, purity, progress, peace, and of course, praise. And if you add a P to reparation, you get preparation. The better we prepare, the better we can cope. Like the parable of the lamps and the 10 virgins again in Matthew 25. Therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. Right, Pastor Ken? Our donation of $25,000 was used to purchase it was used to purchase and install a state-of-the-art generator so critical in a storm. And other Hayward and St George family members have so far contributed a further $21,000. So we are pari passu with the government. The building, as we've heard, is some 4,000 square feet and can hold 300 persons comfortably. It has a large multi-purpose area for dining and sleeping, an industrial kitchen, bathrooms and showers. The estimated cost of $855,000 was reduced by almost 25% through discounts and volunteer work. Expenditure, that does deserve a round of applause. Most things go up. Expenditure to date, I'm told, is $520,000, which is phenomenal and such an achievement. Congratulations. Electrics Cesspits, plumbing, kitchen and restrooms are now in place. The last phase, the air conditioning, a fire safety system, and the furnishings you heard about, cots, chairs, tables, pots, pans, blankets, this requires a further $100,000. You're listening, Jeremy? We're counting on you too. But we know the Lord will provide. And the Port Authority will help. And what a godsend it will be to our island's resiliency. Today's event prompted me to reflect a little on GBPA's lessons in resilience. In 2016, my colleagues and I at the Port Authority, along with former GBPA President Willie Moss, who many of you know, set up the Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation specifically to address the humanitarian crisis after Hurricane Matthew. GBPA put in the seed capital and what we call sweat equity. It's quite an arduous process setting up a foundation, but once established, we were able to approach friends and foreign donors to help fund it. So it was not a burden on the residents. And then when massive Hurricane Dorian hit us in 2019, we actually had a vehicle that we could use to help the vulnerable, the elderly, the disabled, the single mothers with children. During Dorian, the foundation provided generators, food, water, kits and tools like chainsaws island-wide for months, including to 120 churches from east to west with Pastor Eddie Victor's help. Pastor Eddie, where are you? He's hiding. There he is. And we gave Pastor Eddie $15,000 towards the metal roof of his shelter. Where would we be without our churches and our spiritual leaders? Remember, Hurricane Dorian flooded 75% of our island. So mould was one of our biggest crosses to bear. And we partnered with SBP and Rotary Muck and Gut, not a very poetic name, to repair 350 homes across the island, spending close to $2 million on rebuilds and furnishings. Again, sofas, beds, mattresses, stoves and fridges. And I remember precariously balancing fridges on flatbed trucks with my brother Henry and Rupert, our GBPA SS&F team and our GBPA volunteers, and bringing those fridges to families in the East and West End. Because if you've lost your car, how do you shop and store your food without a fridge? Actually, one of the fridges fell off the flatbed truck onto the main road, but that's another story. It survived. By December 2019, we extended our restoration efforts to small and medium business enterprises known as SMEs, who were the most vulnerable because many were uninsured. So please do insure this building. GBPA joined with Mercy Corps and the International American and Bahamian Red Cross and Bacardi to start the RISE program. And now we've got showers of blessing. GBPA put up $250,000, which together with our partners grew to $4 million in grants to 400 businesses. But while we continued to rebuild from Dorian, COVID-19 struck us. And our emergency response was now compounded with hurricane recovery amid a global pandemic. So during COVID, our foundation gave $100,000 to feeding programs run by Sigma Gamma Rho, Urban Renewal, Social Services, the AIDS Foundation, the Council for the Disabled, and all of the senior care homes in Grand Bahama, and also $1,000 a week to Reach Out Ministries and Dudley Save's feeding programs. Although GBPA is not responsible for healthcare, during COVID, GBPA reached out to Dr. Dwayne Sands, then the government health minister, so that Norma Headley's Cancer Association could house COVID patients. And we also turned our renovated Susan G. Wallace building into a government vaccination centre for some 2 years. Crisis management is a complex task. And Hurricane Dorian, followed by the COVID pandemic, resulted in the most challenging times ever known for all Grand Bahamians. And believe me, the GBPA stretched its resources of time and money to breaking point, like most of you. As you know, or may know, 100% of the funds collected by the Grand Bahama Port Authority all go back into our community. No dividends have ever been paid to the shareholders out of the GBPA. In fact, the shareholders injected their personal funds into the GBPA to help with restoration and continue to do so. GBPA funds can only be used to manage and maintain the city of Freeport, and for licensees and the community as a whole. It's hard work at the best of times, but when a hurricane strikes, GBPA's city and safety teams need to clear miles and miles of roads and pick up mountains of debris, carry out safety inspections, monitor water and power, open up ports of entry, and so on. And while our GBPA is taking care of the city, our Grand Bahama Disaster Relief Foundation can fill the breach to take care of the Grand Bahamians that we all love so much. Always remember, the GBPA is quintessentially Bahamian and belongs to Grand Bahamians first and foremost. Our executives, please stand, our managers, dedicated employees and shareholders have always gone that extra mile, far and away beyond any formal agreement. It was never necessary to waive a contract. It's in our DNA. It's how we were raised. It's how I was raised by my father, who, by the way, was a single parent when I was born, and my sister Caroline is here too. We love this community, and this is our home. And we are happy, all of us at the GBPA, to serve, and we do it to the best of our ability. Freeport's not about pie in the sky, but carefully growing our pie together. As you have here at the Evangeline Centre. You hear some wild and wacky numbers thrown around, but really, Pastor Ken, it comes down to multiplying our 2 fishes and our 5 loaves. The investments we've prayed for are coming, and everyone will rejoice soon, I promise. The name Evangeline means good news shining. It carries hope, joy, and positivity. And in that spirit, you can count on us at the GBPA to help you get this magnificent shelter finished. Thank you very much.